Welcome everybody to Magnolia On Money. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a video on what if we won the $1 billion lotto that just was won in Illinois, and which one would we take? Which option would we take? Would we take the lump sum or would we take the annuity payment? Now there's a lot of things that go into this. I heard Mark Cuban the other day say that he recommends the person that wins take the annuity payment. And I'm not against that, even no matter what these numbers tell us. I think it depends on the person. And I do think if you're someone who's not really used to dealing with money, that could be a good option for different reasons. But for this purpose, let's look at it from a standpoint of we know how to deal with money. We just want to see which option makes financial sense after tax and all of those type of things. So let's dive in. And remember, this is not recommendations to go buy lotto tickets to try to win $1 billion, or anything like that. And we're not advocating gambling or anything of that nature. I talk to a lot of clients, and sometimes we like to have fun and go through these exercises and say, what if I won the $1 million or the 50 million or whatever? Ed, how would that pan out and after taxes, and should I take the annuity? So just fun things we do around the office sometimes. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to build a calculator and let's run the numbers and see. I love numbers and I love to see how things pan out. So let's dive in. So round numbers, the person in Illinois won, there's so many numbers here. Let's see, there it is. So a little over $1 billion. I think this was the last time I saw what the number was. And the lump sum payout. Now, lump sum payouts, if you go dive into these websites, it changes. And for this drawing, the payout was about 43.3%. Last thing I heard. And we're going to use Illinois state as the tax rate. So Illinois has a 4.95% state tax. Okay. Now we have to have some kind of rate of return. So what is our money once we receive it? Whether we receive it in one lump sum or if we receive it in the annuity payment over 30 years, whatever we don't spend, we have to have an equalized return that it's going to earn the same on either side. I'm going to use 5%. We may earn more, we may earn less, but that's just a number to use. Also, I'm considering that the person is married. So we're going to use a joint tax return. I can change it to single and we can look at that. But for this purpose, we'll just keep it as joint. And let's use the age of 55. Okay. The other thing to think about is how much are we going to spend of this money? Whether we get it in the lump sum or we get it annually. Okay. How much are we going to spend? I'm going to put a number in there because this is a big winning. Okay. So let's have some fun. Let's say it's $5 million. It's a flat amount, $5 million for the 30 years. I can do a percent of balance and change all that. But listen, let's just have fun. Let's say it's $5 million a year. We're going to spend every bit of that $5 million. And then next year, we're going to get another $5 million next year after that. Okay. So if we look at here, you can see that if these are our parameters, the annuity, the 30-year annuity, wins by about $53 million after 30 years. Okay, that's at the end of 30 years. And we can see here that the break even between annuity and lump sum from a rate of return standpoint is 5.34. So what that means is if we earned 5.34%, the numbers at 30 years would look exactly the same. We would have the same amount of money that we spent and saved on the lump sum versus the annuity payment. Okay. Let's stick to this. Let's look at the numbers and how they really worked out. So lump sum, which this is what really catches people off. So the winnings were little over $1 billion. Well, because we got a payout of 43.3% of the $1.04 billion, this is what our number is. So it's about $450 million is what I could find online, and that's the right percentage. Federal tax was $166 million, and state tax was a little over $22 million. Effective rate almost 42%. So you won $1 billion, you go down to 43.3% lump sum payout after taxes. You take a $261 million and put it in your bank account day one, you're good. Okay, that's lump sum. And then if you took let me go on down here. So you can see over the 30 years, we withdrew $150 million, $5 million a year for 30 years. And then at 5%, after 30 years, there'd still be $781 million in your account had it earned 5%. So between what we spent, what we were saving, about 931. On the annuity side, this is what's interesting. A lot of people are not aware of. When you take the 30-year annuity option, you do not get the $1 billion spread equally over 30 years. It starts a little bit less. So in this example, I think it's going to be somewhere around $9 million the first year's check. And if you go all the way up to the last year's check, it's $37 million the last year. So the payments go up and up and up every single year. And that's how the lottery website reads. So after tax over those 30 years and everything, you withdraw the $150 million, same as we did on the other side. You've got a little bit more, $834 million. So between what you spent and what's left, $931 on the lump sum, $984 on the payment. And this is the graph. This is why most people, or a lot of people, do choose the lump sum, because the lump sum wins for so long. So when you do the math, I mean, at 20 years roughly, lump sum is $500 million and the annuities at 330. So a lot of people do like that you're getting a lot of that money in hand at first. But hey, when you have that problem, come see me and we'll talk about it. But the interesting part here is this shows us that 5.34% would be the break-even point between lump sum and annuity payment. So once again, if you find yourself in this situation, you want to run your numbers, call us. We'll be glad to do it. Of course, if we change the yearly amount, or what we would grow the money to 6%, now all of a sudden the lump sum is way ahead. Why is that? Well, because we're getting higher rates of return in the early years, so it stays ahead for longer. So a lot of these if you're trying to determine which one's better for you, if you win the lottery, you had a bit, whatever, it would depend on, number one, the state you're in. It would depend on what you think your rate of return is going to be. And this is after-tax rate of return. It would also depend on how much money you plan on pulling out, and whether you do a percent of the balance, or a lot of things would change those numbers. Anyway, I thought it was fun. I thought it was an interesting calculator, but depending on the rate of return that you would use would depend on which, option, lump sum or 30-year annuity worked the best. So, once again, this is not advocating that people go buy lottery tickets to try to, retire early or anything like that. I just thought it was something fun. I had some clients come in last week and we talked about it, and I thought, you know what, let's do a video on it. I think it'd be an interesting thing to talk about. And so hope you enjoyed it. And if we have other, events like this happen and we can build a quick calculator to show you what the differences would be, we'll do it. But as always, y'all have a great week. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.